Children, in this first para of the topic evolution, different definitions of evolution has been given. Evolution has been defined as the gradual change occurring in living organisms over a long duration. It has also been defined as that this is a very slow going process through which development of organism is achieved. Another definition is all the stages in changes occurred in various components ranging from stars and planets in space to the biosphere present on the earth should be included in the study of evolution. Finally, this has led to a very good definition of evolution, that the formation of new species due to changes in specific characters of several generations of living organisms as a response to natural selection is called as evolution. In the next paragraph, it has been said that different theories about origin and evolution of life have been proposed. But out of this, the theory of gradual development of living organism is accepted. Now, what is theory of gradual development of living organism? At the beginning, 3.5 billion years ago, life was non-existent on Earth. This led to the simple elements in ocean on Earth. Then the simple type of organic and inorganic compounds were formed. This led to the formation over a long period to the complex compounds like proteins and nucleic acid. Then this led to the first primitive type of cells. After some time, number of these cells they increase at the cost of surrounding chemicals. There may have been some differences among these cells, and according to the principle of natural selection, some may have shown good growth and some have perished which could not adjust with the surroundings. Under theory of evolution, it is that slow and gradual changes occurred for 300 crore years. First living organic material, that is protoplasm, was formed in ocean. Then the unicellular organisms were formed. Then gradual changes occurred and larger and more complex organisms were formed. The all-round and multi-dimensional changes and development in living organisms led to different types of organisms. Now we'll see the evidences of evolution. Various evidences of evolution have been given. The first one is the morphological evidences. The next, anatomical evidences. Third, paleontological evidences. Fourth, connecting links. Fifth, vestigial evidences. And sixth, embryological evidences. Now let us have a look at the first, morphological evidences. Here, in a group, few animals are there, then similarities in group proves two things. First, their origin must be same. Second, they must have common ancestors. For example, if we take group 1, in which we take animals like dog, fox, sheep, we will see three things. First, the structure of mouth and nostrils and ear pinna. They are same in these three. The position of eyes also same and thickly distributed hair. See, in these animals, dog, sheep and fox. Can you see? In dog, fox and sheep, the structure of mouth, nostrils and pinnae the position of eyes, and thickly distributed hairs. Similarly, if we take a group of plants, here group of plants are taken, similar things are seen in them. In them, the similarities in characters like leaf shape, leaf venation, leaf petioles, such characters are seen. Now let us have a look at the anatomical evidences. Now see here, human hand, cat's foreleg, patagium of bat, and flipper of whale. Under anatomical evidences, if we see these examples, we see that the uses of human hand, cat's foreleg, flipper of whale, and patagium of bat, the uses are different, but similarity in structure of bones and bony joints in organs of each of these animals is there. So such organs are called homologous organs, where they have similar origin but different functions. So all this shows that these animals have a common ancestors. We will see paleontological evidences and connecting links in detail. Let us have a look at the vestigial evidences. Now, what are vestigial organs? The degenerated or underdeveloped useless organs of organisms are called as vestigial organs. In the changing environment, sudden development of new tissues or organs for living organisms was seen, but then found that it is not possible. The sudden changes, the sudden development are there, but they don't. The organs, they don't develop suddenly. Then it was accepted that the existing organs, they are undergoing the gradual changes. Under certain situation, a specific structure in the body is useful. Same structure under different situation may become useless or even harmful. Such structures, they begin to degenerate under such situation as per the principle of natural selection. And over thousands of years, such structures, they disappear. Such organs are seen in different phases of disappearance in different animals. Such organs, through non-functional in certain organisms, it may be functional in the other organism. That is, it is not vestigial in other organisms. Let us have a look at some examples. Organs useless in humans. First, appendix. It is useful and fully functional organ in ruminants. Then muscles of ear pinna. These are useful in monkeys for movement of ear pinna. Now there are thus vestigial organs which are present in body of human being. Other such organs are the tailbone, that is coccyx, wisdom teeth, and body hairs. Children, this is the appendix. These are the ear muscles. Then the wisdom tooth and tailbone or coccyx shown here as a vestigial organs in your textbook on page number 5.